Now that we've learned to multiply polynomials, you can see how tedious it gets. So what we want to be able to do is to multiply special polynomials. So the goal here is to use some special rules, just two, when multiplying out polynomials. The first thing we want to do is look at a sum times a difference. So before I give you the rule, I want to actually work out this problem. So a plus b times a minus b. If I distribute this a, I'm going to get a times a, and then plus a times negative b. Then I'll distribute the b, so plus b times a plus b times negative b. A times a is a squared. A times negative b is negative ab. B times a is ab. We can reverse the order. We usually write it in alphabetical order. And then b times negative b is negative b squared. What we notice is that this negative ab and the positive ab cancel, so I'm left with a squared minus b squared. And it doesn't matter what these two terms are. I like to use hearts and stars. What we have here is that heart plus star times heart minus star is going to be heart squared minus your star squared. Doesn't matter what those two things are. As long as you're doing plus and then a minus, you just get the first one squared minus the second one squared. So let's do a couple examples. So in this first one, I'll write it off to the side. It looks like our heart was P and our star was 4. And let me remind you what the rule was. The rule was heart plus star times heart minus star equals heart squared minus star squared. So because I have the same terms, the only difference is a minus and then a plus, my answer is going to be P squared minus 4 squared, so minus 16. In my next example, again, they're the same, the 2x and the 3. The only difference is that minus and then plus. So my heart here is 2x. My star is 3. So my answer is heart squared, so 2x squared, which is 4x squared, minus star squared, so 3 squared, which is 9. For my next one, my heart is y, my star is 5. The only difference is that plus and minus. So my answer will be y squared minus 25. Now before I do the last one, I would encourage you to go ahead and pause and try to do it on your own and then compare my answer. In this last one, it looks like my heart is 3x, my star is 4y. So when I multiply those out, I'll get heart squared, which is 9x squared. Don't forget to square your coefficient as well as your variable, minus my star squared, which is 16y squared. The next example, or rule that we're going to do, is a perfect square. So a plus b squared. So what is a plus b squared? Well, that's a plus b times a plus b. I'm going to distribute my a first. So I'll get a times a plus a times b. Then I'll distribute my b. So b times a plus b times b, which gives me a squared plus ab plus ab plus b squared. This b times a, remember we write it in alphabetical order, so ab. But hopefully what you see is that we have an ab and an ab, so I'll combine them. So a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So what is the rule here? Hopefully you can kind of see the pattern. It's if you have something plus something else squared, the answer is square the first, and at the end, square the second. What I put in the middle is 2 times whatever I get when I multiply those two things. So that's our rule. I'll write it up here just in case you've forgotten it from the last slide. So heart plus star squared was square the first, at the end, square the second, and then in the middle, I'll have 2 times the two terms being multiplied together. So in my first example, right off to the side here, my heart is x, my star is -5. So according to the rule, it should be heart squared. At the end, it's going to be my star squared, so -5 squared, which is +25. And then in the middle, it'll be 2 times my two terms being multiplied. Which we can write this a little bit nicer. Looks like x squared minus 10x plus 25. For my next one, my heart here is 2x, my star is -3. So according to the rule, it should be my heart squared, that's my first term. At the end, it's going to be my star squared. And I'll write out all the steps for this one. And then in the middle, 2 times those two terms being multiplied. And if I simplify this, it looks like 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. For my third example, my heart here is 4x, my star is -1. So according to my rule, square the first. At the end, I'm going to square the second. And then what goes in the middle is 2 times both terms being multiplied together. So we'll simplify this. 16x squared minus 8x plus 1. And my last one, again, I would pause this if I were you and try to do it on your own. My heart is 2x, my star is 3y. So according to the rules, I'll have 2x squared at the beginning. I'll have 3y squared at the end. And in the middle, I'll have 2 times my two terms being multiplied together, which should give me 4x squared plus 12xy plus 9y squared. So that's your rule about perfect squares.